Hello everybody, Laura here. So today I have an art piece project for you guys, and I titled it Happy Daydream, and I posted a picture of what the end result will be. So I want to welcome everybody to my channel, and thanks for coming along on this video hop. This is a collaboration with the Facebook group Creative Arts Collaboration. And this is our second video hop that we are doing, and it is hashtag thanks for watching art. And we had a lot of fun doing the first video hop, so we thought we would go ahead and do it again. So make sure after you watch this video, check out my description box, and you will be able to find the list of the other channels who are participating in this video hop as well. So be sure to go check out their channels and see what kind of projects they've created for you guys. So what I started doing was I took a piece of watercolor paper and I used my Distress Oxide and cracked pistachio, and I just wanted the center of the page to have the color on it. And so I scraped my ink pad across the center of the page and then added some water and let it drip down coming out from the middle of the page. And let that dry. Then I had another piece of watercolor paper where I'd attempted the technique first, but I didn't really like how it had turned out, so I set it to the side and started over. But I used that piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to be taking my other Distress Oxides, and I'm going to be creating a background with all the different colors. I used cracked pistachio again, peacock feathers, twisted citron, and fossilized amber. And I made sure to dry the inks in between so that none of the colors ended up creating any kind of muddy look to them. And there's not really any, I'm not trying to do this in any particular way. I'm just putting the ink down on my craft mat, adding some water, and then applying the watercolor paper over the top and smushing it. I'm just trying to basically cover up all the white space on the page. I want all the page to be covered in some color of ink. I also decided to, I apologize for that, I also decided to use broken china, and that was the one that I had used just then. So now I'm going to be taking the color Picked Raspberry, and I have this stamp, a background stamp, and it reminds me of chicken wire, and I really like that. For a long time I was looking for it's a stencil by TCW, the Crafters Workshop, and it was called, or it's called Chicken Wire Reversed, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck finding that one. And then I came across this stamp, and it gives me the same kind of look, so I really love this stamp, and it's one of my new favorites to use. So I'm just adding the Picked Raspberry and Wilted Violet with that background stamp. And then I have these two little stamps, and it's from a Christmas stamp actually, but they have these circles and triangles, and they have these geometric designs on them that I really like, so I stamped those out with the two colors as well. And then I'm going to be adding some splatters with the Picked Raspberry and the Wilted Violet as well. First, I apply it with the fan brush, and it gives me a little, like little splatters. And I need to get a new fan brush because I had to keep pressing the tip on there, or I need to glue it on there or something. And then I used a little bit bigger brush to create bigger splatters. And I did that with, like I said, both of the colors. Excuse me. So I put this video, I sped it up to 3 times to kind of get through the background part, but I did want to leave in the process of me creating this background, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm going to be taking my Dilutions paint in Black Marble, and I wanted to add some black splatters to the background, and I just used the bigger brush because I wanted much bigger splatters all around the page. And I did make sure to dry that. And then I'm going to be taking my Versamark ink and this background stamp that is just little hearts. And this was just an experiment. This background stamp, it's really pretty, but I did take this gold embossing powder, and it's like a gold glittered embossing powder. And whenever I emboss it, everything, but the stamp, you can't barely see it. You can see that there's dots, but it's really hard to tell that they're actually little hearts, even looking at it up close. Excuse me. So I end up embossing this. I heat set everything, and I wanted different designs, different different designs basically of embossing powder. And so I then take the stamp that looks like chicken wire, and I stamp it down with the Versamark and add the gold glittered embossing powder again. And that way you can definitely see the embossing powder then. And I go on ahead and heat set that as well. And then off camera, I took another stamp that was little circles, and I embossed another section of this background with it, with the gold embossing powder as well. So I get all of that cleaned up, and there you can see in the top right hand corner that I embossed with the little circle stamp. And here I'm going to take my, this is from Recollections, I believe, and it is this heart punch. I think it is a 3-inch heart punch, possibly 2 or 3-inch heart punch. I'm really not certain. And I'm going to punch out 4 different hearts, and I wanted them to have part of it have the embossing powder, some of them just get the different kinds of designs and textures that was on the background sheet. Excuse me. So now I thought I would take some golden glass bead gel, and I have this gold metallic acrylic paint, and I'm going to mix the two together. And I've been wanting to use this glass bead gel more. I'm not really super familiar with it. I've only used it a couple of times, so I'm just seeing the different ways that I can get it used with my projects. And I just decided to take the glass bead gel and just scrape it down the center of the page in between the Distress Oxide. And it's not a super thick layer, but I didn't know if I should make it even thinner or what, but it ended up being pretty good, and it dried. It didn't take a long time to dry, and I do like the end effect of that, the end result, I'm sorry, of that. So I take this black paint from Americana, and I'm just going to use a cosmetic sponge, and I want to go around the edges of the heart to make them stand out from the page. And it also covers up the white edges of the paper from when I had punched it out. I'm just going to take a minute to do that. And I also decided to add black around the edges of the paper, around the border, to kind of frame it in. So here is some deco art. It's an acrylic paint writer, and it's in the color black. And I'd never used this product before, so I thought I would give it a shot. And I'm just going to add some squiggly lines in the background. I knew that the center of everything would be covered up with the hearts, so I knew just bits and pieces of that would be sticking out from behind the hearts. And I am going to take some foam to put on the back of my hearts. I have this little container, and it has these different like foam stickers that you would find in the kids craft section. And I know that I had found the leaves a couple of years ago, and they were like on clearance after fall or something, and they were really, really cheap. So I just used those, and they have different thickness with them, and the leaves are pretty thick foam, so I knew that it would really stick up on the page. And then I'm going to take these Tim Holtz paper dolls, and I'm going to pick out a paper doll that I think would look good on the page. And I really love these paper dolls. I've had these for a while, and I really want to start using them, so they will definitely get put in my projects more often. And I decided on that little boy that's sitting up there on the heart, I decided that he looked the best. This is a wood veneer, and it says Daydream, and I decided to paint it black to kind of go with the page. Excuse me. So everything is pretty dry, so I'm going to go on ahead and take my glue gun and start getting everything stuck down on the page. Excuse me. And I figured the hot glue would help everything adhere better than any other type of glues or tape or anything that I had. I knew the hot glue would really stick for sure. So I'm going to stick all the hearts down and just basically start getting everything adhered. I glued the little boy, the word Daydream, and then I have another little die cut word, and I had die cut that out of a piece of gold cardstock, and it says happy. It's just a little die that I have of little words. So I'm going to stick that down, and then I basically just add some splatters. I use my DIY glimmer spray type stuff that I just took some acrylic paint and mixed it with water, and then I'm going to take some of that black acrylic paint and add splatters, and that will pretty much finish up my project. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've added some pictures at the end, some close-ups, and make sure to check out the description box. Keep going on the video hop and enjoy watching all the videos. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.